Coming up on the Streaming Insider, Amazon reveals 2 Fire TV devices and a brand new interface. Quibi's looking to sell, but who's gonna be a buyer? And Peacock comes to a deal with Roku, but not without a little bit of drama. This and so much more coming up on the Streaming Insider. What's up, streamers? It's Jason from The Streamable, and every week we bring you behind the scenes of the biggest news in streaming. And this week, there's no story bigger than Peacock coming to Roku devices. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single episode. So what was all this drama about? So they finally came to a deal, but it started with NBC threatening to pull 46 of their TV Everywhere apps from the Roku platform. And that was on Friday morning. And then what happened was the two sides seemed to have left the negotiating table, and by Saturday all those apps would have been gone. So what happened between the morning and when they finally reached a deal by the end of the day? So our sources close to the NBC side said they felt that Roku reneged on a deal. Our sources on the other side told us that it actually wasn't as close as NBC seemed to be making it out to be. So what were they actually arguing over? Well, Roku was asking for 3 things from NBC. They wanted content from the Roku channel, they wanted a percentage of all the ads that are run on Peacock, and they wanted Peacock to use their ad technology. NBC is a big company, and obviously they didn't want to agree to the standard terms that Roku was asking for. So in order to get a deal done, content is coming from NBC to the Roku channel, and they are giving a share of revenue of ads. But ultimately, they didn't agree to the standard terms that Roku was asking for, which was 30% of ad revenues. We don't know the exact number, but expect it to be significantly less than the standard terms. So the good news is, for streamers, you can finally stream Peacock on Roku devices. So while behind the scenes there was a whole lot of drama to get it done, what this does set up of what this means for HBO Max, which isn't available on Roku, and also what this means for Fire TV, given they don't have HBO Max or Peacock. So watch parties have been the big thing since the start of the pandemic. Name a streaming service and they've launched a co-viewing feature. First there was Amazon Prime, and there was third-party solutions like Netflix Party and Scener. Disney Plus is even about to launch their group watch feature, but now Sling TV is bringing that to live TV, which is an interesting twist because most of the other options have been for subscription on-demand services. So the Sling TV feature works like this. You can share a link from your Sling account to another Sling subscriber. They have to have access to the same channels that you do. So if you get NFL Red Zone and they don't, you won't be able to share it. But if they do, up to 3 other people can watch alongside with you. And not only will you be able to chat with them, you'll also get a live video feed of your friends, so when you're watching together, you can see each other's reactions. For right now, the feature only works on Google Chrome browsers on your computer, so you won't be able to watch on your favorite streaming player. But if this is successful, at least the sharing part I could see coming to other platforms. So with these group sharing features, is this something we're actually going to use going forward, or is this like a flash in the pan that's just happening because we're all craving to be around other people being stuck at home? In a surprising twist at the Emmys, streamers didn't win big like they have in years past, and in fact, it was traditional cable and premium channels that took home most of the big awards. The big winner was Schitt's Creek, the Pop TV show, which is owned by Viacom CBS, which won all 7 major comedy Emmys. The other big winner was HBO's Watchmen and Succession, as well as Euphoria, which took home many of the big trophies on the drama side. So what does this mean for the streamers? Well, they did win some awards. Julie Garner from Netflix Ozark won Best Supporting Actress, while Apple TV Plus The Morning Show Billy Crudup won for Best Supporting Actor. So they did take home some trophies. But this is a surprise because these services are just pumping out so much content relative to cable channels at this point that they should be the ones taking home the trophies. But I think the bigger story here is not that streaming lost, but that HBO continues to pump out great shows when everyone thought they would be dead in the water after Game of Thrones ended. So for HBO Max at least, they know they have a stable of steady, high quality content going forward. Next up, Quibi is looking to sell. The question is anyone wanting to buy them? The streaming service that launched in April that's really designed for mobile viewing while you're on the go doesn't really have anyone using them. They were projected to have 8 million subscribers at the end of the year, but I'll be surprised if they even have 1 million. And a lot of those are people who are getting it for free as part of their T-Mobile plan. But now we've heard, based on a report from the Wall Street Journal, that the company is looking for more cash, and whether that means selling the business or trying to go public. The problem is they can't even just resell their content. They don't own it. Unlike Netflix, that when they make an original series, they own the series forever. Quibi, in order to get a lot of high-powered creators, did this interesting thing where they actually own it for only a short period of time. But that means they can't even just resell the content to another streaming service. So while they may be looking to sell, I think the bigger issue for them is going to be finding someone who actually wants a streaming service that hasn't really caught on with anybody. And for our final story of the day, this week Amazon unveiled 2 new Fire TV devices, the Fire TV Stick and the Fire TV Stick Lite. The 2 new devices Amazon claims are 50% more powerful than the previous Fire TV Stick. The biggest difference between the two of them is the Fire TV Stick comes with an Alexa voice remote that can control TV volume and power, while the Lite model can't. So in terms of pricing, the Fire TV Stick remains at $39.99. The Fire TV Stick Lite is at $29.99. So why would you choose the Fire TV Stick versus the Fire TV 4K or the other way around? The Fire TV Stick supports up to HD video at 60 frames per second, unlike 4K, which the Fire Stick 4K supports. But both models do support Dolby Atmos audio, so for audiophiles, you could really go with either device. But the bigger news comes for all Fire TV users who will get a brand new interface later this fall, and it's really focused on personalization and profiles. You can now create up to 6 profiles on your Fire TV device, which will give you a personalized home screen, which will show shows you watch as well as apps you use. But the overall user interface of the Fire TV just looks so much more slick than it did before, so you can really tell that Amazon is taking an effort to compete with some other interfaces like Apple TV and the new rumored Google TV interface. Some other major features is Fire TV will now support USB cameras, so you can use your Fire TV Cube as essentially a video conferencing system, and they'll actually be adding Zoom support to Fire TV later this year as well. They also announced that they'll have PIP support, and in the demo they showed you could use it for your Ring camera, but because Android already supports PIP, which Fire TV is based on, it wouldn't be a surprise if they rolled this out across all different apps across the Fire TV ecosystem. So while it will first come out on the new Fire TV Stick and Fire TV Stick Lite, Amazon says it will be rolling out globally to all different Fire TV devices starting later this year. And that's it for this week's edition of the Streaming Insider. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the brand new Fire TV devices and the whole new interface. If you like this episode, make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you want next week's episode right when it comes out. Throughout the week, we'll be releasing breaking news and reviews on thestreamable.com, so drop by and give us a visit. And as always, for the Streaming Insider and the Streamable, I'm Jason. Have a great week. Happy streaming.